and let the story begin. This week, Tommy Prince. How about Tommy Prince?
Oh, shit. How much time do we have left?
Enough.
Okay, all right.
You're always worried about time, but I'm not.
Dude, we did Nygaard last week in like 20 minutes or something.
And people liked it. People liked the episode.
That's true, but
they did. We got good
Nygaard,
feedback. So we can always loop back on Nygaard too, but
you said most of his life is making jeans. Anyways.
Yeah, and with Tommy Prince, most of
his life is making jeans.
The first half of his life is also making jeans.
Yeah.
Tommy Prince MM, they call him. Tommy Prince MM, which is military medal. It's like having a PhD. They call you. They give you the MM designation as part of your name.
Huh, I didn't know that.
Was an Indigenous war hero and the most decorated soldier in the 1st Special Service Force, or Devil's Brigade, who were an elite American-Canadian commando unit during World War II.
Sick.
Yep. He was Canada's most decorated First Nation soldier. Shoulder?
He was a body part?
Cut the what? Served in World War II and the Korean War. He is one of only 3 Canadians to receive both the Canadian Military Medal and the American Silver Star during World War II.
Hell yeah. Made it in the States, buddy. You made that jump.
Uh-huh. Yeah. His deeds as a scout and forward combatant were unique and of major strategic importance, and he's often been called perhaps Canada's greatest soldier.
Sick, dude. From Winnipeg, man.
From Scanterbury, Manitoba.
Huh.
Yep. Born in 1915. They also called him Prince of the Brigade, or the Legend of Kapyong.
You know what blows my mind? Sometimes, you go through war.
Boy,
and
do we.
Do you? War of the mind.
Psychological.
But mostly, I would say 99% of soldiers in the war, whatever war they're in, are just trying to survive. Yep. So you survived World War II, the greatest, biggest war of all time. Tommy Prince says, all right, now let's go to Korea.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Korea need sweeping at all or no?
Dude, what a bad.
North or south, he was asking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Who we hitting? South? Yeah. North? Oh, okay, cool.
He was descendant of First Nations chiefs. His grandfather had negotiated treaty rights in Manitoba with representatives of the Crown.
Okay.
That's significant.
His
grandfather negotiated directly with the Crown for treaty rights in Manitoba.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
so to hammer out the deals we have today.
I don't know if they're the same ones, but he was involved enough with the chiefs of the First Nation that he was involved in those negotiations.
Okay,
his
so
grandfather, that is.
He's a somebody. He comes from
a family. A bit of a family, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
He would also represent First Nations in Ottawa and Manitoba as well throughout his life or whatever.
Sick. Like the Indigenous Kennedys.
Yeah, born in the Brokenhead Ojibway Nation.
Brokenhead.
One of 11 children to Henry and Arabella of Peguis First Nation.
Nice.
Which then in parentheses says Brokenhead Ojibway Nation. So again, the boundaries are unclear to me, but I'm just giving you the facts.
Nice. All right. My mom was also a daughter in a family of 11 children. All of them war heroes.
I was going to say, which war did they serve in, you
totally.
fucking cowards?
Yeah, exactly. They're Mennonites. They dodged every war since they were born.
The family had a strong military tradition too. They'd served in Canadian Armed Forces in support of the Crown during the 1870 Red River Rebellion.
Damn.
Which is something we will inevitably touch on as well. That's
they should teach us this in school. Maybe they did, and I didn't listen.
I mean, yeah, the Red River Rebellion is where Louis gets involved.
So is it?
Louis Riel, yeah.
Okay.
They definitely taught you that.
Okay, I did not.
100%.
All right, I don't know it.
Yeah, there's no. Oh, it's so funny on the Red River Rebellion page when it's talking about. It has a section of commanders and leaders. Then it says casualties and losses. 1, Thomas Scott, cocksucker. No, we'll talk about. They're both cocksuckers. We'll talk about them later.
Who is? Okay, yeah, Tommy Prince.
Yeah, Tommy Prince. That's a teaser for the Louis Riel episode.
Nice.
So they were Chief William Prince, a first cousin of Tommy Prince's father, had led the Nile expedition voyagers in the relief of General Gordon at the siege of Khartoum in
General
1885.
Gordon. Cool.
Yep. So just to say that they're a military family. Growing up, he became pretty good with a gun, pretty good at tracking and stealth, just because he was both sort of like a military brat.
Yeah.
I don't know if they called him that at the time, but like it was from a military family.
Like this rip guy, 90 kills. You're such a brat. He's like, dude, I've got 208 confirmed kills.
These are 80 scalps of the enemy. What are you talking about?
Classic war brat.
And then also because of his like indigenous background and living in the wilderness and reserve, he was like real good at tracking, really good at nature-based stuff that a lot of like white boys just were not good at all.
Yeah, man. Deer hunter shit.
Yeah, exactly. His dad taught him how to like hunt and all kinds of that stuff of that fun nature.
Sick.
Joined the Royal Canadian Army Cadets. And it's an interesting quote. It says, as soon as I put my uniform on, I felt like a better man. I even tried to wear it to class. Which is kind of true. You ever put a suit on and you're just like, fuck, I've always been smart and handsome.
Dude, I am sexy as hell right now. Yeah, man. Honestly.
You feel good about it.
Yeah,
you feel
honestly.
real good about it.
I really do. Someday I'll invent a time machine. I'll go back to World War II and I'll be the guy off the boats getting shot in the head first.
No, like not
instantaneously.
Yeah, because I'm
my time.
I'm waving my hand, being like, me, do me.
Yeah. Please.
My buddy gets shot. I go, I feel good. You look relaxed. Do me next.
You still think it's a movie? Fuck, dude. You see that guy's leg get blown off? Crazy. It's like, dude, this is real life. This is real pain.
Yeah. So he was like a dog in World War II. And due to just like his ability to penetrate German lines in a stealthy way, he was able to get a whole bunch of information back that would not have otherwise been able to get back in time, sort of thing.
Sure.
Like there were reports that he was able to get back that made it so that they could get, high ground on enemies in certain cases that would secure them villages or outposts, things of this nature.
Because he was just like going in the backwoods and just scouting shit out.
Well, what Canadians were kind of famous for in the first two world wars, I think a little bit specifically the Second World War, they say that apparently Nazi and like German uniforms are hard to find in complete condition because Canadians like to like cut off buttons and like patches and little tags and just like take them as like,
oh shit,
gotcha.
Yeah,
and,
like,
yeah. Other people didn't like. Americans were like scared to be there, and apparently a lot of Canadian soldiers got the rep of being like, oh, they're having too much fun.
Okay. Oh, we liked what we were doing. Hey,
yeah, like sick. we were, I think, the reason for certain sanctions for sure. Like, I think we had a lot to do with the Geneva Conventions being put in because we were like, what do you mean we can't do certain stuff?
What do you mean we can't take an ear?
Yeah.
I did that.
And that could be sort of a little bit of, mythos that has been built around it or whatever. But yeah, people like to say that Canada's war crimes led to the creation of the Geneva Conventions.
Quick side note, you know who else was badass in World War II?
Who's that?
The Finns.
What are they up to?
Finnish. Well, is it the Finnish or the Finns?
Both.
Okay, yeah, cool. I just remember this one story where this guy, he was a ski soldier, right? They had like a ski brigade.
Okay, awesome. Right? First of all, very James Bond.
100%. So he would just go around in skis with his machine gun and his sniper rifle, and he was just murking Nazis and smoking or eating meth. So he would just stay up for days at a time. And this one Finnish guy, like 90 some confirmed kills, just because he was a meth head with skis and a sniper rifle. Badass.
You used to be able to get a proper job. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
You used to be able to get a damn job.
Exactly. I got to work at Best Buy. Where's my war? Bullshit, dude. Sorry, keep going.
No, yeah. So like after if I remember it was now after World War II, he would go back to England, where he was summoned to Buckingham Palace.
What?
In 1945, where King George VI presented him with his military medal.
That's massive for an Indigenous guy to do that at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Dude.
And on top of that, when typically these medal presentations would consist of a smile and a handshake.
Yeah.
That's what they said, as they did for other recipients on this occasion. Other people that have got this medal from the king would get thanks,
Yeah.
And they said on this occasion, though, the king stopped and discussed for several minutes with Prince his various wartime exploits with the force and also asked him about current conditions on the Brokenhead Reserve.
Oh, shit,
So the king himself was like, this guy's a dog. Like, let me talk to you. Things all right? Can I help on your reserve?
Yeah,
Our thing,
Hell yeah.
So pretty cool. Was highly decorated, was honorably discharged on June 15th, 1945, returned back home to the Brokenhead Reserve, worked on a pulpwood camp. It says his father had recently died while he was overseas, and Prince had divorced his first wife. And in 1946, a woman attacked him at a dance and cut his cheek with a beer bottle, requiring 64 stitches.
Oh, he's still mixing it up at the bar and shit.
He's getting jiggy with it.
Hell
so
yeah.
after this, he left the reserve and moved to Winnipeg, although he retained his status, his treaty status, and did not become a member of Canadian General Society. This is, 80 years ago now, keep in mind. So it's not,
That proves how hard the reserve is, dude. Because like Tommy Prince, war hero, decorated. He's meeting the king, and someone still was at the bar like, "Fuck you, pussy!
Yeah, I'll cut you."
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
unbelievable. And I mean,
and got him.
That's honestly, it's funny that you say that, because that's probably as good as he was treated post-war. Like people really treated him poorly. Coming back from war. Yeah, he.
What the fuck? Why?
So after this, so he's no longer living on the reserve, so he's able to get some funding from Veterans Affairs to start a small business, basically. So he had a small but relatively prosperous cleaning service for a while.
Have we talked about this before? Because I swear, like, dude, you go to World War II, you get a silver medal, you get a Canadian medal, you meet the king. Yep. There's no reason why you should have to work ever again. You did what you did. The Canadian government should now float you. 50 grand a year, boom, sit at home, do nothing.
Not unbelievable living, but just enough to be like, thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
You're on the top tier of our soldiers. You did really good. Thanks. Yeah. We'll give you a top, whatever. But he joined parliamentary committee to help with the Indian Act. So he was involved in the negotiations of those to make it so that, things were fair as far as they could see from both ends, or as much as they could contribute to things being fair from both ends. So he's doing work in Ottawa for that. Frustrated with kind of the bureaucracy of the red tape, he comes back to Winnipeg to find his cleaning business folded in his absence because the friends that he trusted to run it had crashed the truck and sold the parts as scrap metal. Sold all of the supplies, all the equipment, pocketed the money. So this guy's getting fucked at every
fuck?
Dude, you come back and you're like, where's my van? Where's the Febreze? Where's the toilet paper?
I was in Parliament. What'd you do to my truck?
So people are fucking him at every turn.
Yeah.
So 1950, he returns to the army to fight with the United Nations troops in the Korean War. He's quoted as saying, "I owed something to my friends who died in World War II." Yeah, go ahead.
Did you, Tommy? You didn't know shit, dude.
Not from our point of view.
Not from our point of view.
As far as we're concerned, it's like, man, yeah, thank you. You did it.
Yeah.
But he goes back. He gets reinstated to his previous rank of sergeant. He was now a member of the 2nd Battalion, Princess Patricia's Canadian Light Infantry.
PPLCI.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Is it? Yeah.
That's exactly what it says right beside it. And yeah, just like continue to get jiggy with it over there. His normal usuals. There's a whole section for the Battle of Kapyong, at which he had a prominent role with the PPCLI, of course, as you know.
Yeah.
Got some more. Awarded the United States Presidential Unit Citation for distinguished service in the Battle of Kapyong. So he was a dog.
For the record, anyone listening to this, sorry to interrupt, but if you're looking for an insane Korean War movie, look up the movie Taegukji. All right.
Oh, it's one of my favorites.
You're a
I thought we were doing slurs.
It's not a slur, I don't think. I don't know Korean, but it's Taegukji or Taegukgi, something like that. One of those is definitely slurish, but it's not. That's the title, I swear to God. And it's like the sickest Korean war movie. It's like Band of Brother production qualities, but it's all in Korean. So you got to read subtitles. But Taegukgi, not a slur.
And back to you.
Not a slur. Back to you. But check that movie out. It's incredible.
And yeah, for reference, you're thinking war, you might be like, oh, he's in the foxholes or this and that. Particularly at the Battle of Kapyong, the fighting was often hand to hand with bayonets.
Jeez.
So this guy was fucking he was getting in there, dude.
Meanwhile, back home, his friends are like, yeah, so Tommy's got that Ford Ranger. We could probably take the bumper off and fucking, I don't know, $20.
They killed about 5,000 Chinese soldiers and many more wounded during the assaults on Hill 677, this is. By contrast, the PPCLI suffered 12 killed, 35 wounded.
Crushed them. That's a blowout.
Mopped these guys.
Wow.
They continue to fight in Korea for a while. We're not going to get into the story of the Korean War, but comes back, gets more awards from the Korean War. In his later life is kind of where it gets a little more sad because he comes back and, as with many people that served overseas, just had some trouble adjusting to civilian life.
Yeah.
Had horrible arthritis in his knees because of the long, harsh conditions in the military. He got a small military disability pension because of his knee injuries. And it looks like as a First Nations member, he was unable to access other programs. So this was long enough ago that he, just by virtue of who he was, despite being one of the nation's great war heroes, didn't get access to the same benefits that the white man did.
Yeah, but you're native though, so you can't. Sorry, this money's not yours.
So
sorry, Tommy. Anyways, I mean, I'll buy your gold star off you, but that's about it. Sorry, Tommy. Fucking government.
It's funny you say that because later on in his life, he did end up having to sell a lot of his medals in order to just fund just living. He had, I think, problems of his own, but just like in order to stay afloat, his kids didn't really support him. Not like as a knock on them. I'm not in a position where I could support my parents now necessarily.
No, hell no.
But he just didn't have that support necessarily. Brutal. On top of that, a lot of people come back from the war, and then you can count on spending some time at the local Legion.
Yeah.
Or in this case, in order to apply for certain employment programs, supports, you had to go into a Legion to get the application. Up until 1966, First Nations people were not allowed in the Legion.
What?
There was bylaws forbidding the presence of First Nations members due to alcohol on the premises.
What? What are we doing?
So those were formally removed in 1966, 20 years after the end of World War II. So for that reason, he's just getting fucked at every possible corner, whether it's by bureaucracy, personal things, had some depression after a while, of course, like many veterans did. PTSD, combat nightmares, things of this nature, was homeless for a while. Police officers knew him personally, both because of his heroic war service and because they would kind of catch him out for vagrancy or whatever. And they would always refuse to charge him. They'd pick him up. They'd be like, Tommy, we're going to Salvation. Okay. They'd drop him off. So the cops actually showed him respect in the sense that they never gave him a hard time for having a hard time.
Yeah.
But it's kind of sad to see the way that people, that being said, he eventually overcame alcoholism and would later give coherent media interviews and reminiscences of his military deeds.
Well, that's sick.
Yeah. Yep.
So he kind of pulled it around after this
towards the end. Yeah. He had to sell off some medals to, support himself, but despite strained finances, remained generous to others and would often give cash to people whom he judged to be worse off than himself.
Yeah. See.
So just like an unbelievable dude, he would often attend annual remembrance days, reunions with the PPCLI comrades. Yeah.
That Legion shit pisses me off. That's that racism that pisses me off. Road rage racism, fun, harmless. No one's getting hurt. Yeah. Let us let her go. This is the dumb racist shit that the war hero can't go into the goddamn Legion to get an application form. Yeah. What were you doing? Who was working that Legion that they didn't just hand him a resume or an application outside?
Just on
let the guy get a drink.
On outside. Bring it to him outside. You know what I mean?
To him outside. Or let the man have a drink with his boys. Jesus.
All right, a couple crazy things to land it, and then we'll get out of here.
All right.
In 1976, Prince was assaulted and beaten by a street gang who were unaware of his identity. Just thought he was a guy, and they just beat him up. Later.
Nice pendant, old man.
These are 80 war medals.
From my 300 confirmed kills.
Yeah, you're welcome for your country. Yeah. In more ways than one. Both the land and then I fought for its freedom, you fucking pricks.
Well, this ain't Berlin, bro. This is B-side.
Later, in another incident, he was stabbed by a young man who had mistaken him for another First Nations man whom he had been targeting. Yeah. These serious acts of violence possibly contributed to Prince's demise the following year at age 62. It says possibly, but it's like at that point he had lived a very hard life. You know what I mean? Like
this fucking guy. Can he catch a break? He gets stabbed and the guy's like, "Oh, oops, sorry. Thought you were Kevin."
Dude,
he's like, "Dude, please."
Did that gang not talk to you? Did they not tell you that I'm not who they thought I was?
They just robbed me. Okay, please.
Yeah, so they had a nice provincial state funeral for him. He died in 1977 at Winnipeg's Deer Lodge Center.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, they did the whole flags to half mast nationwide, it sounds like. His daughters said they were very impressed by the response and were, moved by it.
Yeah, but it's kind of hollow. Sorry to.
That's exactly what they said too. They said they did wonder where these officials had been during his years of struggle with war wounds and
no shit. Yeah. Exactly. Totally. Yeah. Let's take a minute that this guy died. Okay, he was living for the past 30 years. You can't even go into a fucking legion. What were you doing?
That being said, yeah. So their thoughts were like, hey, it's very nice to see everyone here. It's very moving, and we didn't realize. But yeah, where were you guys earlier?
Yeah.
But he had never discussed his war record with his daughters. So until his funeral, they didn't know he was like a hero. Because he came home and was probably like, I don't want to talk about all that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like, oh yeah, I killed the most people and the most stealthy. Like,
yeah.
I don't want to talk about it.
What a real one.
You got to look this guy up. If this sounds interesting to you at all, like, yeah, it could be 3 episodes, but like anything could be if I really want to read through every little thing. But it's like, it's an insane story. He used to do all kinds of cool stuff. Like he would swap out his boots for mucklucks so that they wouldn't hear him, because he would be quieter and mucklucks than like stomping boots. And then he would, sneak in and cut little buttons and things off. And the German soldiers called him Geist, which obviously is for ghost, because they would wake up and things would be moved or missing, or a note would be left or whatever. And they'd be like, oh man, the ghost was here.
Have they made a movie about this guy?
Oh, I don't know that they have. If they have, it would probably be Canadian, so it probably sucked.
Yeah, exactly. No, Hollywood needs to go in on Geist.
Yeah, there's a Canadian Heritage Minute video.
Which were not bad. They were
fine, but it's
let's not knock Canadian Heritage Minutes.
Yeah, so he's got a plaque at the Legislative Building. There's a play. He's got a postage stamp. That's cool. About as good as you can hope for.
That. No, I want Tom Hardy. No, Daniel Day-Lewis. Daniel Day-Lewis as an old Tommy Prince. Tom Hardy as a wartime Tommy Prince.
Jimmy Fallon in brown face.
Jimmy Fallon as Nazi number 4.
All right, cool, man. Well, that's Tommy Prince, dude.
Tommy Prince, what a badass.
Yep, overall badass, cool dude, humble dude.
Yeah, and just got shafted.
Nonchalant.
Yeah.
Yep.
Really.
So respect to him. Big respect to Tommy Prince.
Yeah. Big respect to Tommy Prince. Big respect to
you. For watching. For listening.
I was going to say big respect to James Corba.
Oh, sure. Yeah, him too.
But I didn't want to lump in him with Tommy Prince.
Well, now I put a buffer there. So you can put him on the other side of you.
Buffer. Tommy Prince here. Everyone else. You.
Yep.
WPW and James Corba doing good shit in the city. Car Egg. Shout out to that.
Shout out to Car Egg. Start bringing a Car Egg around. Let's have Mario Kart style Car Egg battles.
Hell yeah.
I got red shells and Car Egg. I'll see you cocksuckers on the road.
And shout out to City of Winnipeg employees.
City of Winnipeg employees and our producer Tim Gray and Ashdown Market.
Lucy's Comedy Club. Go to Zellers.biz for tickets for that. I'm headlining Rumors Comedy Club June 3rd and 4th.
I am headlining May 27th, 28th.
So get tickets for that at rumorscomedyclub.com and follow us on the goddamn Instagram. If you're watching this right now, follow us on the Instagram, follow us on the YouTube. Like the shit, follow the shit. I know it's cringe.
Just like it before you watch it. Just like it immediately, subscribe, and then I don't even care if you watch it.
Yeah. And then if we piss you enough where you are literally throwing shit at the computer, then maybe click the unlike button. But just start off with a like and we'll move from there. We're trying to get this fucking thing going. God damn it.
Okay. Love you guys.
Love you.
Bye.
See you next time.
Prairie Dawgs. Thanks for watching that YouTube video.
You made it to the end for some reason.
Watch another YouTube video.
Do it.
It'll be here. It'll be there.
There's links all over the place.
Shorts, longs, mediums.
Just start clicking.
We got it all.
All right.